Hello, YouTube. This is February 14 in the year 2023, and this saga with UFOs being shot down over the United States continues. Here is a very interesting news item from Russia. According to the Russian media, the Chinese newspaper Huansu Shibao mentioned that UFOs were spotted in the sky over China near the border with Russia. And it was an unidentified flying object that was noticed by residents of the Chinese province of Heilongjiang, which borders Russia. This is reported by the Chinese newspaper Huansu Shibao. Residents of the city of Tsitsikhar told reporters about the chain of glowing spheres. According to them, the spheres in the sky blink for only a few seconds, after which they disappeared from sight. One of the eyewitnesses claims that the spheres lit up and went out alternatively. Those that were in the front of the chain lit up one by one, and in the back went out, said the interlocutor of the publication. Recall that 2 days earlier, a UFO was spotted off the coast of Shandong province in eastern China. Against this background, the Bureau of Maritime Development of the city of Qingdao, Jimo County, was asked to be careful as an unidentified objects may try to shoot down. That's what it said. And then let's look at the Russian media source Gazeta.ru, also from February 14. Unidentified balloons attacked the United States military. According to the Russian expert Khadarionak, the use of balloons for reconnaissance is impractical. However, the purpose of launching such balloons in our time is not entirely clear. In the 1950s, before the beginning of the space age, automatic drifting balloons, or ADB, were launched into the airspace of the Soviet Union by the United States and other NATO countries by thousands. The task of the ADB was facing at that time. The task that the ADB was facing at that time was as follows: to determine the number of strategic bombers on the territory of the USSR and to clarify the locations of the mines of intercontinental ballistic missiles. However, out of the absolutely fantastic number of launched balloons, only a few have obtained credible intelligence information. After all, it is very difficult and practically impossible to bring ADB to the required point object. Even if this happened, and for completely unpredictable reasons, at the time of the flight, the reconnaissance object may be closed by dense clouds, and there can no longer be a second approach for the balloon, simply by definition. Therefore, with the beginning of the space age and the creation of orbital groupings of spacecraft by the warring parties, any need for a mass launch of automatic drifting balloons disappeared by itself. So the appearance of the several ADBs over the territory of the United States is most likely not related to intelligence purposes. In the 21st century, conducting any operational and effective reconnaissance with the help of automatic drifting balloons seems to be an obvious anachronism. The same China currently has an orbital grouping of 499 spacecraft. United States has 2,944, Great Britain 452, European Union 312, and Russia 185. The number of satellites in China has increased 7 times since 2011. In turn, from the world space groupings of 4,852 units at the beginning of this year, the share of the Russian Federation was only 4%. As for the spacecraft classified as having a military purpose, in 2022, China put 45 such vehicles into orbit, the United States put 30, and Russia 15. Thus, for the first time, China was able to get ahead of America in one of the key areas of space competition of the great powers. The assumption that in Beijing, the problem of obtaining intelligence data will be solved with the help of practically uncontrolled automatic drifting balloons, it looks somehow not quite correct against this background. So the reasons for the violation of the United States border by Chinese balloons in the airspace and apparently still of a different nature. In Beijing, they claim that this is not happening by malice. So that's what the Russian Gazeta Ru said. There was an interesting comment on February 13 in Komsomolskaya Pravda in the online issue. And what it said was this: extraterrestrial intelligence can exist, but the probability of such scenarios about the really alien origin of the mysterious balloons is vanishingly small. A Russian political scientist Andrei Shkolnikov told the Komsomolskaya Pravda radio, if this does happen, then the formation of a single subject of humanity will finally take place. Because without the appearance of a different intelligence, it is impossible. There have already been periods in the planet with several intelligent species existed and competed at the same time. For example, humans and the Neanderthals. And perhaps we're being prepared for something, but in any case, this is futurology, the study of the future, very far from real politics. Look, the Russians are definitely interested in the ongoing saga of the balloons, and I'm not quite sure about that report from February 14 from China, as Russia has reported, but we should bring forth all the available information and see where it takes us. So we live in very interesting times, as the Chinese proverb says, and we should keep our eyes glued to the sky. And again, thank you for your attention to my work. I appreciate that you listen to my videos and watch my videos. And if you can support me, you will find the descriptions on how to do it. And please like this video. Please tell others about my channel.